The BBC's Marianna Spring has been in the news again. We were working on several videos revealing her influence on the BBC's narrative. In a recent BBC interview, reporter James Clayton spoke to Twitter CEO Elon Musk. Clayton suggested that Musk's leadership had led to a surge in online violence on the platform. However, when Musk challenged him for an example, Clayton backtracked, citing a report by the Institute for Strategic Dialogue. Here's a 10-second clip of Clayton's remarks.
What I claim was the Strategic Dialogue Institute in the UK, they say that hateful content is on the rise.
Describe a hateful thing.
Something that may include something that is slightly racist or slightly sexist.
Clayton was referring to some research that was included in a recent BBC Panorama programme presented by the BBC's disinformation expert, Marianna Spring. She included an interview with someone from the Institute for Strategic Dialogue who had been specially commissioned by the BBC to look for evidence to support the programme's claim that there was a link between Musk's involvement with Twitter and an increase in misogyny. However, the main conclusion of the report was that while Twitter had seen a significant increase in the number of new accounts being created, misogynistic agendas or ideologies were not a dominant narrative. But Marianna was undaunted, so this is how she framed the narrative in the final cut of the programme.
New research shared with Panorama shows there's been a spike in the appetite for harmful material.
We saw huge spikes of account creation around several notable events during Elon Musk's Twitter takeover.
The report categorically does not at any point describe a spike in the appetite for harmful material.
There's been a spike in the appetite for harmful material.
Rather, it said there had been a spike in new account creation following Elon Musk's involvement.
We saw huge spikes of account creation around several notable events during Elon Musk's Twitter takeover.
The spikes in new account creation was shown in a graph in the full report from the Institute, using a convoluted metric to depict, quote, the daily number of new accounts created, which subsequently went on to follow 132 existing accounts specifically selected by the researchers. The first two spikes occurred in April and October 2022 when Musk announced his interest in acquiring Twitter and when he finally took over. The third and fourth spikes were, as it turned out, an unexpected gift from the gods of clickbait.
We saw huge spikes of account creation around several notable events during Elon Musk's Twitter takeover, but also related to the known online misogynistic influencer Andrew Tate. When comparing the period before Musk's takeover and after, we see a 69% increase in the overall level of account creation.
The rises in new account creation occurred when Musk allowed Andrew Tate back on Twitter in November 2022 and then, when Tate was arrested in December. Their analysis showed that the new account holders who joined Twitter to follow Tate didn't exhibit significant misogyny, but, rather, dominant discussion themes included support for freedom of speech, opposition to liberal or woke views, some conspiracist content, and support for Trump and MAGA republicanism. The Institute issued a press release to correct Clayton's misinformed statement and Marianna's misrepresentation of their findings. There is a link to the Institute's rebuttal below, and we ask viewers to read the full context of their criticisms of Clayton, Spring and BBC journalism. In response to Clayton's statement they say,
to be clear, slightly racist or slightly sexist content, as it was defined by the BBC reporter in his interview with Musk, is not hate speech.
They go on to suggest that instead of seeking slightly sexist or misogynistic tweets, Marianna would do well to report on more weighty topics revealed in their research. The Institute identified a surge in Islamic State accounts in the days following Musk's takeover, a 69% increase in just the first 12 days. At the same time, without implying a correlation, they report a doubling of anti-Semitic hate speech. We can't help but wonder if Marianna's handlers would let her make a Panorama program about the amount of Islamic hate to be found on Twitter.